This is one of those things that so many people say, what is the first thing that I could recommend to someone who is really struggling with symptoms, who has been diagnosed, who their doctors don't really know what's going on with them, but they're literally losing their mind. They're losing their brain, their cognitive function. They don't even recognize maybe the person maybe you're watching this video for a loved one and you don't even recognize the person sitting next to you. Yes, there's medications. Yes, 80% of the population starts with medications as a solution. I'm asking that you try something different. And this solution is extremely different. When you start draining the brain from the poisons that are affecting you and the pathogens and the parasites that are literally sucking your life force, you start to get your life back. Even if you're on medications, even if you're on anything else, you can do this. This is a once a day thing. Try it for 6 weeks. It is a game changer. Whoever talks about cleansing the brain, this is how we do it.
Did you know that nearly half of the world's population has parasites living in their body right now? Many inside the brain, and most have no idea. These hidden invaders release toxins that inflame your brain and slow your metabolism and block your hormones and drain your energy. So today I want to show you something that so many people have asked me to make a video on. It's how parasites and poisons affect your brain and how to cleanse them naturally using a simple daily nasal rinse that I use on a regular basis with patients, with members. And then also how peptides and bio-regulators can rebuild your brain and your body from the inside out at the same time. The World Health Organization, not that I consider them a reliable source, but you do, most people do. They estimate that over 50% of people on Earth are infected with parasites, most undiagnosed. Although in the workplace, we do, as holistic doctors in naturopathy, we say, if you have a pulse, you have a parasite, and you can check the 100 symptoms on my Parasite Full Moon Challenge page related to parasitic infections. Pretty much if you have a cough, cold, flu, fever, or any kind of skin issue, hair falling out, disease, you have a parasite infection. And if you think parasites don't affect you, here are some of the most common signs that I see in my patients: brain fog, fatigue, hormone chaos, stubborn weight, skin breakouts, chronic allergies, anxiety, digestive distress, even autoimmune flares and cancer precursors. The truth is, you guys, parasites are not just a third world problem. They are a modern epidemic hiding in plain sight. So these are the top 10 parasitic related symptoms, diseases, and conditions that when you watch this video, hopefully by the end, you will feel inspired to start doing this nasal cleansing process that I'm going to teach you how to do. Super simple. Number 1 is digestive distress and bloating. Number 2, autoimmune disease. Number 3, brain fog and mental fatigue. This is an epidemic at this point. Number 4, chronic fatigue syndrome. Maybe you've been diagnosed with Addison's or even just stage 1 or stage 2 adrenal fatigue. There's no such thing. Low energy, poor mitochondria. Parasites drain nutrients like iron, B12, and magnesium, leaving you super depleted and exhausted no matter how much you rest. Number 5 is hormone imbalance and infertility. Number 6, unexplained weight changes. You could go up, you could go down. Parasites feed on glucose and fats. They create cravings and insulin resistance, malabsorption, causing stubborn weight gain or weight loss. Number 7 is skin issues and aging. I used to have this myself: acne, eczema, rosacea, psoriasis. When I fixed my gut, got rid of the parasites, all of this went away. And I didn't need Accutane, which is chemo for your pancreas. Most people don't tell you that when they put you on those drugs, do they? I took it 2 rounds, destroyed my gut and my body permanently. So that's also why I am a doctor of traditional naturopathy, because I don't want you to have to go through this. So hopefully you hear me out here. To get rid of acne, you get rid of parasites and all the waste living inside of them. Number 8 is allergies, sinuses, and respiratory issues, because a lot of these parasites migrate through the lungs and sinuses and they cause chronic congestion. I even have it right now. Coughs, asthma, seasonal allergies that you think are just genetic maybe, or just because you live close to trees. They're never going to go away unless you get rid of these parasites, especially in your brain. Number 9, anxiety, depression, and sleep problems. Parasites are awful. They secrete neurotoxins that alter your dopamine, your serotonin, and your melatonin, your sleep hormone levels. That leads to mood swings, insomnia, yay, or nightmares, especially during the full moon, which is why my course is called the Full Moon Parasite Cleanse.com. Number 10, most people do not know this, but cancer and degenerative disease links are back to parasites. So chronic parasitic infections are a hidden cofactor in tumor formation, especially in the liver, the colon, and the breast, by creating long-term inflammation, immune suppression, and tissue calcification, especially the breasts. These are specific to liver, gallbladder, and autoimmune, especially related diseases. Liver flukes are the ones I see the most. They're commonly the culprit, yet there are hundreds of different types of parasites causing a slew of the most well-known diseases today, especially one of the most common ones, toxoplasmosis. It's called Toxoplasma gondii. It affects 1 in 3 humans worldwide and is linked to mood changes, anxiety, and even schizophrenia, gender confusion, mood dysregulation. I could go on and on about this specific parasite. It doesn't just affect people who own cats. Another one known as the Trypanosoma cruzi parasite. This is a microscopic protozoa that was discovered to have been added to the COVID shots under dark field microscopy by medical professionals. And it's causing the post-jab symptoms and conditions. I'm even talking about flu shots or any shot, not just a COVID shot. They all have the same technology now. But a lot of these people who have taken these jabs unknowingly, they're getting a lot of conditions like systemic clotting, strokes, heart disease. Look at all the athletes dropping dead on the field. No bueno. Also cancer, worse, dementia, Alzheimer's. In fact, 3 of my family members very close to me have been impacted by this. 2 that died this year, 1 from turbo cancer of the ileocecal valve, stalling drainage, digestion, and detoxification. And then the 3rd family member nearly died from severe clotting in 3 major areas. So this is anybody who's taken the shot or people who are around people who have taken the shot. The first one that he had was an aortic aneurysm. And this is a bulge or ballooning in a weakened section of the aorta, which is the main artery carrying blood from your heart to the rest of your body. Number 2, he had blocked carotid arteries. I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about many people who are dying. We are seeing epidemics of people just dying, clotting out. This, what you guys are going to do here, I'm going to teach you guys to do, is going to help prevent a lot of these things. The carotid arteries, their main job is to deliver oxygen-rich blood from the heart to the brain. So what happens is plaque will build up and blockages happen. And that means reduced brain oxygen. This raises your stroke risk, as well as a lot of people who are struggling with memory, dementia, Alzheimer's today. This person who is very close to me, my dad, had 3 strokes before the shots and was on 8 medications to prevent further strokes. But this was just to numb out the pain that he has had from said blockages. So they recommended these shots to him, even though they cause further blockages. This is make it make sense medicine, right? And then the last thing he had was 4 blocked coronary arteries, the heart vessels, 50% one, 70% the other 2, and 100% the other, especially the left main coronary artery, which is the parent artery. And that was blocked and hence extremely dangerous because it supplies 2/3 of the heart's blood flow. His was severe because it's most well known to cause a heart attack. And because of that, it's called the widowmaker. So Kaiser left him almost to die, didn't tell him that he had these heart issues. He went to the ER. They said, go home, you're fine. When they admitted him, they said to him, you're lucky to be alive. And then they left him to go home 3 hours later. And he had all these blockages. They didn't even check his heart. This is, again, make it make sense medicine, right? So now we're talking about parasites. Let's bring in the poisons. Add in heavy metals like mercury and aluminum and environmental poisons like glyphosate and mold mycotoxins, and you have a toxic soup sitting inside of your brain. So a lot of people have no idea that there's many poisons and many parasites that are causing all of these issues that I'm talking right now. These poisons and parasites eat away and eventually cross the blood-brain barrier, hijacking neurotransmitters and hormones. And the result is you may even get menopause early or think maybe my hormones hate me. No, poisons and parasites do. This leads to chronic inflammation. Inflammation is not the problem. It's the result of the arsonists. That are the parasites and the poisons that are causing inflammation. These are the roots of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, depression, strokes, MS, even obesity, and so much more, since everything is connected to your brain and especially your central nervous system. If any of these sound familiar and might literally be bugging you, pun intended, then listen closely, because this next first step to clearing the brain and hence clearing the entire body from infections, inflammation, disease, and dysfunction is actually above the collar. So let's talk about the formula and how to put it together. Okay, now let's talk about the solution, the Navage Detox, and how it clears your brain's glymphatic pathways, as you've been learning. So as you already know, your sinuses are the gateway to the brain, and they connect directly to your lymphatic system. We call it the glymphatic system, and your lungs and your gut. So when pathogens are living up here, every drip of mucus sends them downstream, feeding the gut, the lungs, and even your bloodstream. That's why daily nasal irrigation is so powerful, because it stops that constant toxic drip. We actually swallow 1 liter of saliva every single day. So whatever toxins in your brain are going to go down to your gut and move systemically throughout your entire body. So let me show you guys how to do this. The first thing that you're going to do, and I've got my little side over here, you're going to start with, if you'd like to do a premix,
a 64-ounce mason jar. You fill it with distilled or previously boiled water, but I prefer distilled. And the links I have for the one I like is on dianecaser.com/shop. To this, just make it all water, just all distilled water. What you're gonna add is 80 drops total of CellCore's Para 3 tincture. This is for general cleansing, or you can use, because this actually has something called tansy stem in it, and it's been something that's known to clear a lot of the same things that ivermectin does. I can't make any medical statements or claims, but I'm telling you right now, I start with first do no harm, and Para 3 is amazing for air quotes treating COVID and whatever the hell that means, right? Because it's mostly trypanosoma cruzi they put in the shots, which I'll talk about soon. The other two options that you can get from CellCore, if you've ever had Lyme or struggled with Lyme, is something like an IS formula. We have IS Bor and we have IS Bab. We also have IS Bart for Borrelia, Babesia, Bartonella. So whichever Lyme you may have been diagnosed with, you could also try the IS formulas. You just use the same 80 drops. Now, remember that if you're doing 80 drops, that's the maximum dose. So you might want to start with a little bit less than that, maybe cut it to half if you're doing this entire formula with a 64-ounce to prep. The other thing that you want to do to this mason jar is you're going to add carboxy. So this is our strongest binder. It is powder and it is containing humic acid as well as polysaccharides as well as fulvic acid. Humic acid is the #1 strongest binder known to bind to graphene oxide, and graphene oxide has also been put in these shots. Also just being sprayed in the air is one of the significant problems people have severe toxicity from right now. So this is a really powerful binder. It's designed to go into the brain, bind to the toxins, not just graphene, but a whole bunch of other things too, like heavy metals, xenoestrogens, plastics, poisons, parasites. Also the other things that you're breathing in on a regular basis, things like glyphosate, atrazine, and we test for over 100 toxins with our patients. So we look for a lot of different things, but there are currently over 86,000 toxins in America anyway, and counting, about 3,000 a year they introduce. So this is why cleansing is so important on a regular basis. So 8 pinches of a carboxy powder to this mason jar. Just to wrap up, to remind you again, you're going to use 80 drops of the CellCore Para 3 and 8 pinches of carboxy into a 64-ounce mason jar. That is going to make you 8 servings of 8 ounces each that you're going to add to the Navage. That's the premix. If you don't want to do the premix, all you do is you get your Navage. I'm going to put links below on how you can get one on Amazon. They're going to give you this little thing, and you add this to the top of this after you've filled the reservoir with all, maybe your premix. This is an 8 ounce where it goes up to the line. It says to stop it at the line. So if you did a premix, you add the whole thing to that line. If you didn't do a premix, all you do is you add distilled water to the line, and you will add the same thing I was telling you, 1 pinch of carboxy and 10 drops of Para 3. That, like I said, is a strong amount. So you could start with only doing 1 drop if you're sensitive and just a tiny pinch of carboxy. Then you could move up your next Navage. You could do something like 3 drops. Then you could try the next one at 5 drops. Then the next one you could try 10 drops. Like I said, you could also try the IS Bab, IS Bart, IS Bor formulas if you have been known to have been diagnosed with Lyme or been bit by a tick, or you live in the Lyme belt of America. So whichever one you want to do, I like to do the premix because I could do other things with it. And I'm going to share one more thing that I do with the Navage. Or not just the Navage, but the premix that I use for the Navage. I also have something over here that I use on a regular basis, which is for the eyes. So a lot of people don't realize this, but their eyes are getting super toxic. People are having a lot of optimal issues these days. So what you can do is I just put the premix formula into a little eyedropper, and I carry this in my purse wherever I go. So if I go biking or something and there's a lot of toxins in the air, or your eyes are very porous. They're going to absorb a lot of things. So you want to adsorb by putting these drops in your eyes on a regular basis. The other thing that you can do is I like to heat up distilled water, fill it to about half, and then fill up the other half with the premix formula that I just taught you. And you just literally take this, cover it over your eye like this. Once the mix is already in here, you put this around your eye, and then you tilt your eye back and you hold this, it suctions to your eye, and you move your eyes around, and you use this as an eye cleanser. Of course, there's all kinds of other peptides and bio-regulators that you can do as well. I have a free guide you guys can download. I'm going to talk about peptides next, on exactly what to use, what kind of peptides, bio-regulators for your eyes, etc. So once you're done with this, you just want to shake this before you use it, of course. I want you to do this. Clean your sink, make sure there's nothing in your sink, no dishes or anything like that. When you're pouring this out, pour it slowly so that you could see all the gunk that comes out of you. You might see parasites, you might see clots, you might see clumps of mucus, you might see like a whole bunch of little specks of things, but really it's important to see what comes out of you because then you get to literally see the sucker, the perpetrator that's causing you issues like asthma, allergies, sinus problems, the migraines, everything that I've talked about. When people do this and the patients that we've worked with on a regular basis, they have seen an 80% decrease in sinus congestion problems. They've seen this major improvement in 6 weeks. They've seen blood pressure normalizing, migraines are resolving faster, they get off their medications, they have better sleep, focus, and breathing especially. And also breast calcification load reduced over time because your lymph clears. Whatever is in the brain, your lymph drains right into the breasts too. This is not just for women, it's for men too. Men get breast cancer also. And then prostate cancer. This stuff will drain all the way down to all of your organs. Once your drainage pathways are open, especially in your brain, now we can move into deep regeneration, which is where I'm going to start talking about peptides and bio-regulators next. Okay, now it's time to Navage. You got your solution ready, and all you have to do is hit this button. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Make sure you have your tissues handy, and you can do this in your kitchen sink, or you can do it in your bathroom, whatever works best for you. Okay, here we go. Hold your head high, straight, and hit the button. Hold your breath. Do not use your nose to breathe. You'll feel it sucking. You see the reservoir at the bottom. You could literally talk while you're doing this. Do not swallow. This thing is literally just sucking all of the mucus, the biofilm where the parasites and the poisons live. So hot, right? Neti potty got not this. Done. You're gonna have some post-nasal drip there. Get a tissue, blow your nose. You might have a lot that comes out the first time too. That's why you want a whole tissue box next to you. And when you blow your nose, you might see some, black, because that's what was in there, was carboxy, right? Okay, now have a fork ready. That's what we're gonna wanna do, is we wanna see what came out of you. So if you don't have the carboxy in there, it won't be black. So you could just do a Navage for the first time without even having the carboxy in there, just to see what comes out. Just try the saline rinse. So let's look at this in the sink. I'm going to turn this down here so you can see what comes out, okay? I always like to say, just do this very slow. See if any clumps came out. I was pretty congested because I just had my hair dyed and I went into a salon and it was very toxic. So I got kind of congested. So a lot, for me, didn't come out this time. But when you are somebody who has never done this, and I always like to say, keep a fork, because you want to kind of move through whatever came out of you and look to see what it was. So if you have never done this, you probably will have a lot more come out, but that's how you do it. It's really simple. It doesn't take much time to prepare. If you've done the pre-solution, then it's already ready to go and it's much easier. It's kind of like meal prepping. When you get it done before, you're more likely to get it done because it's already done. But this is super simple and I already feel a difference. So I'm 47. I just turned 47 yesterday. And I don't feel it, because the way that you really can accomplish your beauty is to get rid of the things that drain it in the first place. So that's a Navage. Super simple. I know you're going to do it, right?
All right. Now that you can start your first nasal suckage protocol with the herbs and the protocol that I just shared with you, I want to give you another option if you want to up level all of this, because these parasites and these pathogens and these poisons are the true root cause of why your immune system is struggling and why you have so many of these symptoms that you have. Diagnosis of literally anything. What you can do to up level and regain and rebuild your immune system is bring in regenerative medicine at home. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to come see me as a doctor in any clinic. You could do this at home. Peptides and bio-regulators, they're where it's at. It's how to bring your body back to homeostasis and optimal for all of the organs that function inside of you. They are short chains of amino acids. You may have heard me talking a lot about this on my podcast, on my social media, and my emails. Make sure you guys are on my email list so that you can get notifications when we have sales. But anyway, peptides, they're your body's own repair messengers. Think of them as text messages telling your cells what to do and your organs, and you literally cannot function without peptides. They are the things that are sending chemical messages throughout your body, and they help the body repair, regenerate, and rebalance naturally. You make 8,000 of your own, so it's not anything exogenous. This is what your body's already doing. It just can't do it as much because your body's being broken down by parasites, pathogens, and poisons. The top ones that I would recommend for people who are asking me how to support my brain or my whole body to detox is Epitalion. They're capsules, super easy. You take 3 a day for 10 days, do it twice a year. It resets your circadian rhythm. It activates your pineal gland and it supports melatonin and longevity genes. Another one I'd consider for mitochondria is MOTS-C. This is in an injection. It boosts metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and fat burning. The main reason why people have any disease is mitochondrial deficiency. In other words, your cell's ability to make energy for you to communicate and sell signal to organs in your brain so that things know what to do. They turn off when you don't have peptides. They forget what to do until peptides come back in the picture. BPC is a great one. You could take an injection, intranasal, or capsules. I prefer an injection for 100% bioavailability. It heals your gut, heals your brain, and your blood-brain barrier. This one is the gateway of peptides. Thymosin alpha-1, otherwise known as TA1, it modulates immunity. It's antiviral, and it's an excellent choice for chronic infection recovery and to bring back your immune system. The last one I'd say for your brain is many people have heard of C-Link and C-Mac. These two combined are neuropeptides for mood, focus, calm, and cognitive clarity. This is one of the easy ones because they just come in intranasal. Do not take them injection. Do not take them in capsule, only intranasal. When you open up drainage and clear the brain, peptides can finally reach their targets and repair tissues effectively. That's when our patients start noticing steady energy, clear thinking, hormone balance, and weight loss without pushing or starving themselves. The other option that you can consider, bio-regulators. They're the little mini peptides for brain healing. So this is incredible. They're natural short chain peptides that signal also, just like bigger peptides, but they signal your body to restore the function of specific organs and glands. That's how they're different. Peptides, larger ones are more systemic, but bio-regulators are more organ specific. They work more gently for people who have sensitivities to supplements or anything. That injectable peptides are ideal for sensitive individuals. So the ones that you inject, not so good as a starting point for people who are sensitive or just starting their healing journey. I would recommend bio-regulators because they're in capsule form. I love Promethean brain focus bio-regulators because they're super easy to take and you just take them for cycles of 20 days, go off for 10 days, go on for 20 days. There's one called central nervous system. It's called CNS. It helps regenerate neurons, improve memory, focus, and coordination. The second one I love for people who are really wanting to optimize their brain and bring back their brain function is the pineal gland. It balances sleep-wake cycles, hormone rhythm, and spiritual clarity, which is amazing for dreaming again and remembering who you are and what you came here to do and how to function and heal on your own. The third one, and I recommend this for pretty much every phase, is blood vessels. And that specifically is for vascular health that improves circulation and oxygen delivery to the brain and organs. Without that, you have nothing. Your blood flow, if it slows down, you have drainage problems, you back up with poisons and parasites, and it goes right to the brain. And this is where you start to have problems. Most of the time, it takes 10 years to get to this point. So these three peptides together, they are the ultimate brain repair stack: CNS, pineal gland, and blood vessel. Normally, a 2-month supply of the stack costs $620+, but we have a partnership with Promethean, and you only get it for $435, which is awesome because it's a 30% discount. Then, when you use my code CHIMINISTRY, you save another 10%, bringing your total savings to $230, which is about 37% off. That's it. That's a 2-month supply and you get free shipping. You take 1 capsule a day for 20 days of each of these. Then you take a 10-day break and then you do it again for the second month. You take 1 capsule a day for 20 days and take a 10-day break. And then you can go into another cycle. How to choose which things you're going to do, whether they be peptides or bio-regulators. If you're sensitive, if you're new to detoxing or in a budget, start with the bio-regulators. They're gentle and they restore organ function long-term. If you're ready for faster results and your drainage pathways are already pretty open and you've been doing cleansing with me for a while or on your own, go with peptides. And for the best transformation, combine both. Peptides accelerate and bio-regulators stabilize. So everything I teach works in layers. Cleanse your body, heal the root cause, ignite your true optimal healing pathways. You start with drainage and you open those nasal and lymph pathways, which is exactly what I'm teaching you with this Navage protocol. Then you add peptides or bio-regulators to activate regeneration. You don't have to do the Navage for like 6 weeks and then bring in the peptides and bio-regulators. You can start them at the same time. And you can order everything in the links below directly through dianekaiser.com/peptides and find my Promethean stacks there as well. If you want guidance on videos like this and more on how to cleanse, detox, heal, restore all of your body, join my VIP group for just $1 at dianekaiser.com/VIP. If you join and you're a member, it's less than $100 a month and you get me for 8 hours and you can ask me anything. I could be your second opinion, your 11th opinion. Many people have worked with many doctors, don't know what else to do. Nothing has worked, and they find their way here and everything starts to work again. If you're part of the ministry membership group, the VIP group, join for $1, you get 25% off all of my courses, including the Peptide Power course, Warrior Cleanse, which is the foundation of drainage and detox, a way to live so that peptides and bio-regulators work better. And then also the Full Moon Parasite Challenge. Our community cleanse is where we release what no longer serves you, which is the parasites, especially around the full moon. I teach you how to do this for 3 months in a row and then go into maintenance thereafter, because parasites are generally going to be the problem for every single person. To what degree, where do they live in the body, where do they live in the brain, that we don't know. And stool testing will not tell you that, because stool tests are not accurate for parasite testing. Most of the time they're false negatives. But if you have a pulse, you have a parasite. So do this protocol, you guys. Try the Navage, literally get that sucking going on. Do it every single day for 6 weeks and you will see the benefits. If you don't do it every single day, no worries. Don't fall off the train thinking you're not doing it perfect. Just get back on the train. Do it even once a week. Just try it once and feel the difference. So hopefully we'll see you in the VIP group or in one of my courses. If you'd like to be a patient, we'll have links below for that too. But truly, I want you guys to reclaim your energy, your clarity, and your confidence from the brain down. All links to all of the things I talked about are going to be below with the details and the names of the supplements and the peptides. I hope to see you guys on the next show. My name is Dr. Diane Kaiser. Thank you for letting me heal you and help you get rid of the parasites, the poisons, the programmings, and the pathogens that no longer serve, so that you can ascend to be the person that you truly came here to be, God's gift to this plane. Bye for now.